Hello everyone, this is Orion KE7VLC for Whiskey Mike 7 Romeo Charlie, the Mesa Amateur Radio Club. How's everybody doing today? Hope you guys are all doing fine out there. Well, this is a special, basically a special broadcast. We're going to be putting this video out to kind of talk about our field trip, or our field day plans. This is going to be the field day info video, and I'll post this up on both the website, our Facebook page, and our YouTube channel. That way anybody and everybody who's interested in coming out has access to this video. I've been asked several times in the past week and a half where we're going to be going for field day, and it's on everybody's minds right now, and I can't blame everybody. You know, it's kind of a little tough out there right now. Right now, we don't know precisely where we are going to be located at. The campground that we normally go to is closed anyways. So even if we were to say, hey, let's just go back to the campground that we were normally at, which is the Moki Group Campground, that campground is closed as well. So we would end up having to make a choice and do a different plan anyways. I know it's kind of confusing, and I know a lot of you are going, gosh dang it, you know, this is just kind of weird, kind of strange and everything. But the truth is, this year has been kind of dry. This is Arizona. We're a dry state as it is, and I'm not talking about, you know, no alcohol allowed. I'm talking about dry as in, you know, the sun beats down on us 365 days a year. We have very little rain as it is. Our state is a, you know, kind of a deserty state. And even up on the rim, it's a kind of a deserty state. It requires a lot of snowpack, which we didn't get this year, quite honestly. I'm not going to go into climate change and all this other stuff. I'm not a big fan of the whole entire climate change per se. Our climate changes. It's normal way of doing stuff. Anyways, I'm not going to go into that. I'm not going to say whether or not that's the cause or anything of that nature. That's a whole controversy that I don't even want to even get into right now. So there's been a lot of forest fires, starting with the tinder fire up near where we normally camp out. About 16,000 acres has burned, and it started because of an illegal campfire, quite honestly. And this is the one main reason why we have specific rules per se. I mean, we're not really too strict on our rules, but when it comes down to something like you know, going out camping in the forest, normally I'm not going to care about, you know, whether or not we have a campfire, whether or not you smoke or anything of that nature. But this year they put us into stage 2 fire restrictions very early in the year. Normally, by the time that we're going up there camping is right around, they might start throwing in stage 2 fire restrictions up there. And quite honestly, we don't need a campfire. I'll just point blank say we don't necessarily need a campfire all the time. Some of you might sit there and go, well, it's not camping without a campfire. Well, I disagree, especially when it comes to the health of our forest, you know, and the safety of our forest, the safety of people, and the safety of our forest firefighters. We don't necessarily need to have a campfire all the time. You know, in the wintertime when it gets down there pretty cold and, you know, 38, 40 degrees, yeah, okay, campfire's not too bad of an idea. Just, you know, help kind of keep you warm, keep you, you know, have a place to sit around and talk and all this other stuff. But as of right now, I mean, this is the summertime. Quite honestly, the temperature up there, I think last year during field day was in the mid 80s, I think, and it was quite hot. I think it might have even gotten up near near 90 degrees. Nighttime was nice because it was in the 60 degrees. You know, throw an extra blanket in or something like that, and you were fine. So I'm not going to get into too much of the whole entire, you know, legal aspects or anything of that nature. I'm explaining the reason why we decided we're going to change where we're located at. And I'll show you that on a map here in a little bit. But the main reason why is because the area where we were going to be camping at for this year is now closed. We cannot enter that forest without getting some sort of either a ticket and a court view, which I'm not going to be willing to do. So we just made the decision as soon as they started closing down areas, that's it. We're going to move our camping over, and I hope everybody understands this. I hope everybody's on board with this. You know, quite honestly, you know, ham radio operators are usually a good bunch of guys who, you know, think about legal terms and things of that nature and understand the legal ramifications of what they do. Hence the reason why we have to have a license in order to operate in the first place. So I don't think that many of you are going to be too critical of it or anything of that nature. Now, keep in mind, those closures could lift if we get, you know, I mean, it is now June 3rd. We've got another couple more weekends left of this month. If we get a nice big huge rainstorm that comes through and blankets our, you know, our national forests up there for, you know, a good 3, 4, 5, 6 days or so, they may change their mind. They may reopen everything. So as of right now, I'm going to go with plan A, and I'm going to show you plan B just in case that does actually happen. But plan A is the new camping locations. Plan B is the old camping locations. So I'm just going to flat out say that right now, and it is well marked on our website as to which one's the old and which one's the new. Stick with the new for right now and get an understanding of where we're going to possibly be at. So we have to change. That's what we're doing this for. So what I want to do is I want to start off by talking about what field day is. Then I want to go into basically some of the rules in here, some of the bonus points, some of the stuff that I didn't get to talk about in the last meeting. It'll make a little bit of sense when you start reading the packet yourself. And I highly recommend that everybody downloads this packet, and I'll stick it in the links down below in the YouTube video. And it is also online. I'll even put the link to where you can find it and everything, and tell you exactly where to go. I recommend that you download those rules and you read through them and understand them. If you have questions, feel free to ask. Don't be shy. Don't sit there and go, well, I didn't want to ask because I didn't want to feel like I was stupid or something of that nature. The number one club rule is there really is no stupid question. All right. The only stupid question is the one that you didn't ask. All right. So ask away, fire away. Send me an email, ke7vlc@whiskey mike7romeocharlie.org. That's ke7vlc@wm7rc.org. Ask away. Ask questions. I will answer them. All right. So let's kind of start talking about some of the stuff that we've got going on here. Let's transition over. Let's see here. Okay, so right here is the ARRL website. Okay, ARRL.org /field-day, or just look up in Google ARRL space field day, and it'll take you to this page right here. I highly recommend every new ham out there go through this, read up on this. This is the most important part of the whole entire event right here. It's going to explain pretty much everything. There's going to be stuff that I'm going to miss or forget about or something like that. You guys need to go through here and read it. It's good information, and you guys should know exactly where to find it as well. Alright, so with that saying, you can come down here. What is field day? There's a printable PDF that you can download or open up, and basically what it does is it comes over here. Field day can be whatever any club wants it to be. And I'm going to reiterate that. It's whatever any club wants to do. And even regular, just if you want to go out and you want to participate in field day, but you don't want to be part of a club event, you're more than welcome to do so. You're more than welcome to get on the air and actually do it. Again, I highly recommend you read the rules before you go out and venture on your own, but you can do it. All right. It's actually quite fun, especially if you're doing it with a large group. It can be quite of a chore because you got antennas to put up, you got coax to run, you got safety tape to put up, places to put the generators, where's the gas going to go, things of that nature. So you got to think about this way ahead, and usually our club starts thinking about this way in like December. Like we'll start talking about field day come like October, November, and that's when we'll start doing a lot of our planning as to where we're going to go. And the reason why we do that is there's a field day locator page on the ARRL page. If you want to find out, let's see here if I could find it. Field day site locator right there. Go to the locator page, you open it up, and what it's going to do is it's going to pull up a map of, well, for us it's going to be a map of Arizona. These are all the locations that are doing some sort of event during field day, and they've basically put it out there on the web so you can find, and if you find us, okay, we're right here. Here's the contact information. This is where we're going to be. Yes, we are going to have a get on the air station. Usually what we do is we take one of our other stations down during the event to do that if the option comes up or if we need to. We will have a simplex talk-in frequency. That's just basically as you get up there, you can basically call out and ask and help get directions or something like that. I've got my phone number programmed in here, so you guys could call me, whatever. And I've got obviously my email address over here. All right. We'll go up here to this club here, W7TB, Silver Saddle Market, 9001 North US Highway 89 in Flagstaff. This is their information. So it's a good, useful information, and it's actually, if you zoom out, now, and it's not going to do it here because we're zoomed out a little bit too far, but if you scroll over, let's think about, let's look at the Chicago area. I mean, look at how many stations are going to be on the air around Chicago area, so if you're ever in the area of, say, Rockford, you could probably come up here and join this K9K group up here, and contact them ahead of time and say, hey, listen, I would like to join you guys for field day if possible. Ask permission, get out there and join up with them, and or if you decide, what, I don't want to, I'm flying out to, well, let's go North Carolina. If you're going to go out towards, say, Charlotte, North Carolina for the field day, you don't have to sit there and go, well, I can't be with my club this weekend, so I guess I'm not going to do anything. Here you go. Jump on here and find a club that's going to be doing it out there and join forces with them. I bet you they're going to be more than willing to let you, sign in and do some contacts. So don't be shy about it. That's what this event is for. It's for the fun of it. It's for the it is a contest, but it isn't a contest. It's not like there's an award or anything like that. It's not like you're going to get a trophy or something. There are going to be some groups that are going to treat it like a contest, and they're going to basically say, yep, you're allowed to be on the air from, say, 4 o'clock in the afternoon to 8 o'clock at night. That's going to be your time, and that's going to be the only time that you're going to be able to be on the air. Our club doesn't do that. Our club is basically, if you come out and you express interest, oh, I want to get on the air for a couple hours, here, have my seat, jump on, take over, make some contacts. If you don't feel like doing that and you want to sit next to somebody and help them log or something like that, you're more than welcome to. We will be doing a education out there. We're going to be doing a couple different things, a couple different education parts, because you get a bonus point for you get 100 bonus points if you do an educational thing while during field day. So come on out, enjoy it. So everybody, every single year we get this common question: when is field day? When is field day? Okay, field day is always the 4th full weekend of June. I mean, if you want to know what field day is going to be for next year, you can pull up a calendar right now, look for the fourth full weekend of June, and that's going to be the dates. If you want to know what field day is going to be in, say, 2022, find a calendar that extends all the way out there and look for the fourth weekend of June, and that's when it's going to be. It's never ever different. It's not like it's going to be June 3rd on one year and June 27th on another year. It's always the fourth full weekend. And it begins at 1800 UTC Saturday. Now, Arizona is -7. So you take 1800 and you subtract 7 off of it, and you get 1100 local time. All right. Until 2059 UTC Sunday. However, there's a slight little rule difference in there, and I'll explain that in a little bit here. What bands? Basically any amateur radio band except for 12, 17, 30, and 60. So as long as you're not on any one of those, you're perfectly fine. You're allowed to be on any one of them. If you want to do 10 meters, do 10 meters. If you want to do 6, go for it. Yes, there is a log submission. Not everybody submits their logs. Typically, we submit our logs to the ARRL, as well as we load them up to Logbook of the World, so people get, bonus points for contacting us. Let's see here. Terms of entry. Basically, all you have to be is, guess what? A licensed amateur radio operator. All right. If you're a technician, you're required to follow the band privileges for your license category. So if you're a technician, you got to stick with technician. If you're general, you got to stick with general. If you're extra, you stick with extra. The caveat there is who's in control of your field day operations. All right. Now, the FCC regulates, says that you're allowed to be on the air with extra privileges, working under an extra privileged call sign. Luckily for us, our club trustee, which is Vinny, he's an amateur extra. So that means as long as you have a control operator on site the entire time that is extra class, you can be working any of the bands, any of the privileges of an extra class while using the club call sign. Okay, that's the caveat. You can't throw out your club call sign and be on, on 80 meters if you're a technician. You've got to use the Whiskey Mike 7 Romeo Charlie for field day. Well, that basically covers for anything. All right. Let's see here. Yeah, it says here a station may only operate according to the privileges of the control operator at the control point of that station. So typically we have extras sitting at every single basically band right there. Every single radio that we use, we typically have an amateur extra. I'm an extra. I want to say Dennis is an extra. I know Vinny's an extra. I think Chad is an extra, but I don't 100% know there. But we have extra classes out there. So, let's see here. What other? Let's go back to... I've already gone over the site locator. If you want any of the field day supplies, you're more than welcome to buy any posters or mugs, cups, hats, t-shirts. Feel free to go right ahead and log in and buy yourself one from the ARRL page. You're more than welcome to do so. Now, right here, what is it here? Is it on this page? No, it's on this one here. So field day is open to all amateur extras, or all amateurs in the areas covered by the ARRL field organizations and countries in Region 2. DX stations residing in other regions may be contacted for credit and may submit entries as check logs. So in other words, what it is if you live outside the country, let's say you're in Germany, You're a DX entity. You are not, an amateur radio operator in the United States. So a DX entry is just basically it counts as 1 point. All right, no big deal. It still counts as a point and things of that nature. The object is to work as many stations as possible on any and all amateur bands, excluding 60, 30, 17, and 12. Doing so to learn to operate in abnormal situations in less than optimal conditions. And I definitely agree that this year meets that requirement. Abnormal situation where we don't normally operate. Well, I should say the club operates typically in a weird situation. We're always camping or something of that nature, but we don't normally operate from our houses or our homes or from a clubhouse. And then we also work in less than optimal conditions. All right, this is a very less than optimal conditions. We've got fire restrictions. We've got drought conditions. We're going to be out in the middle of the out in the field. So we're not necessarily going to have the support of commercial power grid or ACs or anything of that nature. So a premium is placed on developing skills to meet the challenges of emergency preparedness, as well as to acquaint the general public with the capabilities of amateur radio. This sentence right here, it's a really long sentence, and it kind of conveys exactly what the field day is really for. The skills to meet the challenges of emergency preparedness. All right. Now, a lot of you are probably going, well, amateur radio will never work in the field or anything of that nature, and that might necessarily be true, and it might not necessarily be true. You never know where you might end up being deployed in an emergency situation. You might be deployed to a park. You might be deployed to a school or a firehouse or something of that nature. Pretty much every single time that you do some sort of emergency preparedness or emergency drill or even an emergency situation, you're going to be in an abnormal situation. You're going to have to think on your feet. You're going to have to figure out exactly, oh, well, if I put my antenna from this direction to this direction or something, you're definitely going to, you need to be thinking about that. And that's what field day is for, is getting you out there in the field and thinking about, well, okay, if I put my antenna going north to south, what is that going to cover? Which direction am I going to get? Or would it be better to go kind of a northeast to southwest direction for my dipole? Or, let's learn how to build a Moxon antenna, or, put up a hex beam or something like that. It also puts an emphasis on trying to figure out exactly what the band conditions are and what frequencies you're going to be able to use and not use. Okay, 10 meters might not be so good this year, but 20 meters might be really, really good. We don't know until the day of. So that's the challenge of ham radio, and that's the challenge of this whole entire thing. You never know any of this type of situation, so you got to be prepared for it. And acquaint the general public with the capabilities of amateur radio. Well, okay, it's basically marketing speak for be our own marketing group. If somebody comes up and goes, what are you guys doing? Now you got to be prepared to sit there and talk about what amateur radio is, what your gear is, what your goal is, what you're trying to do, things of that nature. You got to be the good steward of the whole entire hobby. All right, that's very important right there. So we went over the date and everything. Always the fourth full weekend of starting 1800 UTC Saturday and ending 1800 UTC on Sunday. Or you can go 27 hours for Class A or Class B if the conditions in 3.1 are met. Okay, Class A and B stations that do not begin setting up until 1800 UTC on Saturday may operate the entire 27 hours of the event. Now, typically that doesn't happen for us because typically we go up on a Thursday or a Friday. Technically, we're not supposed to be setting up before 1800 on Friday. We've got a couple other things that we're going to possibly do, and we might not necessarily set up on Thursday night anyways. We're going to play that by ear, but we'll probably more than likely start setting up on Friday. There's a specific reason, and I'll get into that in just a little bit. Um, but it's going to be fun. It's going to be enjoyable, and it's going to be something that we're going to want to do. Um, no class or A station may be able to set up earlier than 1200 UTC on Friday, Thursday afternoon, or evening local time preceding the field day period. And cumulative setup time shall not exceed a total of 24 hours. And this is the one reason why I'm saying that we're not going to really start setting up until Friday. Well, I mean, we might have one station on, but the majority of us will not be starting to set up until Friday. Yes, there's a couple of us that go up on Thursday, but usually we go up there, we set up the camp, we put up the canopies, we start figuring out exactly where we're going to put all of our generators, and we're going to I'm going to bring up a rake this year, so we're going to rake all the leaves and pine needles back so that we can clear a nice good area to prevent fires. All right, so entry categories, it's classified according to the maximum number of simultaneously transmitted signals. Essentially what this means is if you've got 4 radios that are going to be on the air at the exact same time, or throughout the whole entire time might be on the air at the same time, then that's what you count. Our club has typically been a 4 alpha. This year I think what we might end up doing, due to the forest fire restrictions and the threat of forest fire out there, I think what we're going to do is run a 2 alpha this year. We're going to have 2 stations set up. We might have 1 extra station just on the air that might participate if one of the other stations are down, or might act as our GOTA station, GOTA station, get on the air station. But I think what we're going to do is we're going to run 2 stations simultaneously throughout the whole entire time. But we're going to play it by ear and see what happens. You know, because that way, if all of a sudden the forest ranger comes through and says, yep, you guys are going to have to evacuate, there's a forest fire that's approaching, you guys need to pack up camp and get the heck out of here. You've got 2 hours to get out of here, or something of that nature. It's less equipment that we have to tear down, less equipment we have to throw in the cars, etc., etc., etc. All right. So, entry categories. We got Class A, which is club, non-club, portable. A club or a non-club group of 3 or more persons set up specifically for field day is what this is. Such stations must be located in places that are not regularly a station location and must not use the facilities installed for a permanent station use. In other words, you can't be doing this from a clubhouse and be considered a Class A station, because that's your permanent place if you're using a permanent antenna or something like that. So all equipment, including antennas, must lie within a circle whose diameter does not exceed 300 meters or 1,000 feet. That means all of your generators, all of your cabling, all of your antennas, all of your radios, and staff must be within that 1,000 feet diameter. All right, there's times when we've contacted 24 alpha stations, and I'm still trying to figure out exactly how in the world you squeeze 24 transmitters in a 1,000 foot radius or diameter. Apparently it can be done. So I'm not going to be arguing. I'm going to let them deal with it. To do this, you must be making all of your contacts independent of commercial power mains. We use generators. We've used solar in the past. We would love to get into wind, but wind is kind of one of those, you got to have the wind blowing constantly in order to charge up the batteries. And you know, sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. So, but you can also do human powered. Okay, you can have somebody on a bicycle turning a AC alternator that charges your batteries that, you know, drive your radio. And you know, maybe one of these days we might do that. It might be a good you know, exercise or something like that. But hey, I think it'd be kind of fun to do. A get on the air station is a transmitter that is able to operate without changing its base entry category. So in other words, if we have two main radios that are on simultaneous, and we're considered a 2 alpha, we're allowed to have one other radio sitting there for use of, like, if we have a visitor or something like that that wants to come by, doesn't have a license or something, we can coach them through making a contact on the air or something like that. So those are always fun if you've got a lot of people visiting your site. Maximum transmitter output for the GOTA station can't be greater than 150 watts. That's perfectly fine. And yes, we do get points. A maximum of 500 QSOs may be made by the station to be claimed for credit. And there's more rules down the way. Now, we are allowed to have a free VHF station, and hold on one second here. But it's got to be, basically, it can't be using any repeaters. So if we've got a VHF station and we want to put what I call park and bark, find an open simplex frequency and start calling CQ and see how many people we can contact that way, we're perfectly legal allowed to do that. Then you got Class A battery. Basically, the only difference between this one and the other one is the fact that this one is 100% on battery. That means all of your transmitters have to be on battery in order to be this. And it's got to be an output power of 5 watts or less. So you're restricted into what you can do. So unfortunately, you can't combine these two. It has to be one or the other. So now let's say you decide to go out on your own with a friend maybe or something like that, but it's just you and one other person, and you want to operate. Well, you'll be a Class B. And again, you got the two difference. You just got Class B and Class B battery. The only difference is, obviously, the one on the battery, you have to power 5 watts or less on the transmitter, which is going to be very tough this year. So if you're up to a challenge and you want to try some QRP, I don't recommend it as for a new ham, because it gets very, very frustrating. It gets very frustrating with 100 watts, let alone 5 watts. So but Class B is not eligible for a GOTA station or a free VHF station, so you got to pay attention to that. Then you got the Class C, which are mobile stations. That means if you hop in your truck and you have a HF rig in your truck and you're driving around from spot to spot or parking it up on a hill or something like that, you can be a Class C. Class D home stations, if you want to operate from home, you're more than welcome to. However, you don't get any bonus points for that, so you got to think about that. But also, Class D stations can't contact other Class D stations. So if you hear another station calling out there going, I'm a Class D, I'm a Class D, you need to flip the dial and move on. Class E home stations are emergency power. So if you've got a breaker that you can flip over to generator and run off of a diesel generator or a gas generator or something like that, and you want to operate from home, you're now a Class E, and you're allowed to work basically everybody. You're basically just like a Class B, except that you're working from your house. Class F are the emergency operation centers. You kind of have to be a part of an ARRL group in order to be part of that, because not every single community is just going to allow you to come in and operate from their emergency operating center. I think it'd be kind of fun to do this one day, but I don't really know any of the ARRL group people that would be able to get this to be pulled off. So the exchange. And here's what I'm gonna go over a general QSO for you. We're gonna pretend that we're a 2 Alpha club, and we're out of Arizona. All right, and I'm just gonna make it flat out very simple here. Essentially, the QSO is going to be CQ, 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 or CQ field day, CQ field day, CQ field day. This is Whiskey Mike 7 Romeo Charlie, Whiskey Mike 7 Romeo Charlie, WM7RC. Calling CQ field day, CQ field day. All right, now you get somebody calling back. All right, this is KE7VLC. I'm a 1 Echo Colorado, 1 Echo Colorado. All right. So you'll log in your logging software. You'll log in KE7VLC 1 Echo 1E CO. All right. For your call going out, you'll be, yes, this is Whiskey Mike 7 Romeo Charlie. We are a 2 Alpha Arizona, 2 Alpha Arizona, or a 2 Alpha Alpha Zulu, 2 Alpha Alpha Zulu. Usually if you break it down, instead of just saying Arizona, it's usually a little bit more communicatable, especially when somebody's like really, really choppy. I want to hurry up, get you in the books, and move on to my next person. All right. I'll show you a little bit of the software here. Let me see if I have it set up here. Let me go back to the website here. Let me pull it up. If I even have it, I don't have it on here because I don't normally do logging on here. So when we get up there, I'll go over the logging software a little bit with you guys. As a matter of fact, we'll do a little bit of education beforehand regarding the software. We'll get it all set up, and then what we'll do is we'll do a dry run on doing a couple of contacts with the software. So a person may not be contacted for QSO credit for any station from which they also participate. That means, okay, Chad can't be working for us and then drive down the road and go, hey, I'll just be a 1 Bravo really quick and get the club 1 extra point. You can't do that. Technically speaking, that would be cheating and that would be bad. So, you know, unfortunately, you can't do it that way. Now, a transmitter used to contact 1 or more field day stations may not subsequently be used under any other call sign to participate in field day. What that means is Chad can't be using his radio for his own for the club purposes, calling out, you know, WM7RC. This is, you know, we're 2 Alpha Alpha Zulu. Oh, there's a really great station. I want to do field day for my own self as well. So, you know what? As soon as I'm done for Whiskey Mike 7 Romeo Charlie, I'm going to turn around and go, hey, this is N17PHX or N7PHX. You know, 1 Bravo Alpha Zulu, 1 Bravo Alpha Zulu. That's an illegal transmission right there. You can't be doing that. So, phone, CW, and digital modes on a band are considered as separate bands. So you're allowed to have essentially 3 different stations per band. So for 10 meters, you're allowed to have a phone 10 meter station, a CW 10 meter station, and a digital 10 meter station. For 20 meters, it's the same. All right. All voice contacts are equivalent. All non-CW digital contacts are equivalent. So it's not like Olivia's worth more than PSK31 or RTTY or something like that. They're all lumped into the same bucket. Crossband contacts are not permitted other than satellite QSOs. They are permitted because they're a special case and it's really, really busy. If you've ever heard of satellite during field day, it's very, very tough. We are going to give it a try. We're going to see what happens. I can't make any promises. I'm not going to say that I'll be able to make a contact or not. I might need to bring a big tank of helium just to make myself sound like a lady or something like that in order to get get everybody's attention so I can make the contact. But you know, that's a big joke. Let's see here. So the use of the use of more than one transmitter at the same time on a single band / mode is prohibited. So you're not allowed to have 2 stations on 20 meters single sideband at the exact same time. That's, you know, not, you can't even do the, well, I'll do one and then you do one and then I'll do one and then you do one. You can't do that. You've got to put a separation in there. Either one of you has to do digital, the other has to do phone, or one of you has to switch bands. All right. With the exception of the GOTA station. The GOTA station is basically a separate entity of you that operates outside of yours that gives you bonus points for your operation. But what a go to station is it's really designed so that you can get, if there's somebody who's interested in the hobby, wants to, give it a try and get on the air, sit them down, throw the mic in front of them and get them to make contacts. That's what the go to station's for. Yes, batteries may be charged while in use, except for Class D stations. The batteries must be charged from a power source other than commercial power. No repeater contacts are allowed, so you're not allowed to take a VHF and sit there and call out CQ Field Day on all the repeaters up there. And then all the stations for a single entry must be operated under one call sign, which is the reason why we're going to do it under the club call sign, with the exception of the go-to station. Okay, so let's go into the scoring a little bit here. Let me grab something to drink. QSO points. Phone contacts are worth 1 point. CW and digital are 2 points. And the reason why is phone is easier than CW. Phone is easier than digital. Digital is typically a slower method, but CW is a quicker method, but not everybody knows CW. I don't know CW. If we have a CW operator that has a rig, wants to bring it up and wants to set it up and join with us, please do. Please do. Come on up, join us. We would love to have a CW operator. And quite honestly, we would love to see some CW operations going on. All right. Power multipliers. If all contacts are made using a power of 5 watts or less, you get a power multiplier of 5. All right. Let's see here. But note, all contacts. That means every single contact that you make has to be with a power of 5 or less watts. Our club is not a QRP club right now. One of these days it would be nice to do field day with 5 watts or less, but with the propagation and the way the sunspots are, we're not going to do that. It's not going to happen anytime soon. So if all contacts are made using power of 5 watts, but the power source is from a commercial main, the power multiplier is 2. So if all contacts are made using an output power of up to 150 watts or less, the power multiplier is 2. Hence the reason why we really love digital communications, because now every single contact is 2 points times 2, a multiplier of 2. So that's 4 points right there. All right, phone contacts are basically 2 points. All right, so we love CW and digital if we can. We definitely are going to have digital modes up and running, and I'll probably be running phone quite a bit because I do like to talk. And if we do make any contacts using an output power of 150 watts or greater, then the multiplier is 1. Essentially what they're trying to do is get you to be out in the field and thinking about it. You're not going to be running a 1,000-watt amplifier out in the middle of the forest unless you have some really big generators or something of that nature. So yeah, so power multiplier for any entry is determined by the maximum output power used by any transmitter used to complete any contact during the event. So if you're all QRP and one of you ends up dialing up the power to make one contact, you're all down to the the 150 watt power multiplier, and it doesn't matter. All that hard work of doing QRP is out the window. Bonus points, bonus points, bonus points. This is where you can quickly rack up some extra points. 100% emergency power happens to us every single year. We have never used commercial power. We run off of generators or batteries the entire time. So that's 100 extra bonus points right there. Media publicity. This may be earned for attempting to obtain publicity from the local media. Typically what I do is I try to get Chad, who's got a lot of media contacts, a lot of contacts in the media realm. I try to get him to go right ahead and at least do a press release and send it over to me, and try to contact a couple of the media. I usually let Chad handle that, and I'll do the same exactly again this year. I'll have him send it over, and that way we can get at least 100 bonus points for attempting to obtain publicity. Public location. We're in a national forest. Guess what? It's public property. Anybody can show up at any given time, including the sheriff, forest firefighters, mom, pop, kids, clergy. Anybody is allowed to come over to our location. So that's 100 extra bonus points right there. We will have a public information table. It's probably going to be just a small table, just due to the fact that we're going to be really limiting how much equipment is actually set up due to the fire restrictions up there. But if we have a public information table, guess what? That's an extra 100 bonus points. I've got flyers talking about ARRL and things of that nature. We're going to definitely have one or two of us that are going to be able to answer questions and things for the public. Message orientation or origination to the section manager. Now this is a little difficult because you got to get on and you got to do an NTS traffic. I got to look up A10, the Arizona, I can't remember the rest of it. Anyway, the Saguaro net typically has an HF net to pass NTS traffic. I want to try to at least do one. It'd be really nice to be able to contact them, send at least one over to our ARRL section leader. That would be fun. I would love to be able to do that. And I think we need to do that. I think that's something that we need to sit down and actually draft up a message and do it. That one's a fairly easy one to do. We've never done that before, and we've always left those 100 extra bonus points sitting out on the curb. Message handling, 10 points for each formal message originated, relayed, or received and delivered during field day period, up to a maximum of 100 points. That's 10 messages. If we are able to do at least one message out to the section manager, it'd be nice to be able to at least draft up a couple extra messages and pass them out. I mean, hey, 10 extra bonus points for each message for a maximum of 100 points. That shouldn't be too difficult to do. The message to the ARRL section manager does not count towards the total of 10 for that bonus. So, satellite QSO. This one's a very, very difficult one, and we will be monitoring satellite operations. We're going to give it a try. I really hate to drag up too much equipment this year just because of the fire restrictions. I keep mentioning that. I'll talk about that a little bit later, but satellite QSO may or may not happen this year. I've got to make a determination as to whether or not I want to throw that in there or not. I think I'm going to do it. Just because my antenna actually does fold down. It is a small antenna. I just have to set it up. So we'll probably do something of that nature. Now, 100 bonus points for field day groups making a minimum of 5 QSOs without using power from a commercial mains or petroleum-driven generator. This means an alternate energy source such as source of power, solar, wind, methane, or water. A methane generator, that would be awesome. This includes batteries charged by natural means. The natural power transmitter counts as an additional transmitter. If you do not wish to increase your operating, you should take one of your... I think we probably... If I could get Frank to charge a couple of his batteries up, take a couple pictures of him doing that before he comes up, and then throw a battery or two in the back of his vehicle and run his rig or run my rig or something off of it, and make a minimum of 5 QSOs. We should probably do that. It's an extra 100 bonus points. It's actually fairly easy to do. The Whiskey 1 Alpha Whiskey Bulletin. I love this one. This one's a big challenge because sometimes you don't copy the full message. What we've done in the past is we've kind of rigged it up so that we record the entire spectrum, and then we go back and we try to find the PSK 31, and we try to write down everything off of it. And then if we miss some stuff, then we try to go over to the RTTY version of it, try to capture it there. And then we try to go over to the phone, and what we do is we try to fill in the entire message using multiple different methods, which is cool. That's an 100 extra bonus points. We're definitely going to give that a try. There is a schedule for it, and I'll bring the schedule with me. Educational activity bonus. 100 point bonus may be claimed to do a specific educational related activity. It can be diverse and must be related to amateur radio. So, we can't practice putting out fires or anything of that nature, but we have a couple ideas. And we got a couple different things. We want to build an antenna. That's one of the thoughts. There's a couple other things that we can go over. And it must be some type of formal activity. So what we'll do is we'll go ahead and start doing some QSOs, and then we'll shut down. We'll do the training, and then we'll proceed onwards from there. Or what we can do is right as soon as field day starts, do our training at that point in time, and then jump in and start taking over. So, site visitation by an elected government, not electrocuted government, an elected government official. This one is difficult because we have to put out an invitation to one of these elected governmental officials. Let's see here. Same way with a site visitation by a representative of an agency like Red Cross, local fire. We might go right ahead. If I can get Chad to draft up a good invitation, we might go right ahead and send it via email over to the park rangers up there at the Apache Sitgreaves. The problem is we can't tell them exactly where we're going to be until the week of. That's the only issue right there. However, we can send the invitation out and then make a phone call to them and say, hey, listen, we sent an invite out. We just wanted to let you know here's where we're going to be located at. I don't know if it's really worth it or not, just because of the trouble of figuring out exactly which campsite we're going to be at. So we might hold off on that one. There is the go-to station. When a go-to operator successfully completes 20 QSOs, they receive 20 points bonus. Upon reaching an additional 20 points, there's another one, all the way up to a maximum of 100 bonus points. So if we get several people that are not actual amateur radio operators up there, and we get them to make 20 QSOs each, we get an extra 100 bonus points. All right, that's pretty decent. That's not too bad. Let's see here. Web submission always happens. It's a 50-point bonus. It's easy slim pickings. Easy pickings, low-hanging fruit. All you have to do is fill out your whole entire form and then submit it over via the web. All right, we do that like on Monday or Tuesday when we get back. It's an extra free 50-point bonus. If we have any youth over there that are actually participating and doing at least one QSO, they've got to be 18 years or younger. We get a 20-point bonus. Social media, another slim, easy pickings for us, due to the fact that we're going to have a bunch of us that are going to have cell tower antennas up there, be able to reach out and actually hit a cell tower. We'll go right ahead and start posting up some social media. We might even do a live video feed while up there. I think it'd be kind of fun to do a live video feed. We've never done one from field day, I should say. We've done a couple from like winter field day and so on and so forth, but we've never done one from field day. So this year, the 100 bonus points is going to be easy. I mean, all we have to really do is post one little blurb about where we're camping at and put, hashtag ARRL Field Day and make it there, and congratulations, we've got it. Safety officer, that's going to usually be me. I will be wearing a yellow safety vest. We'll be doing I do have a checklist that I will be going through, making sure that we're all safe up there. Um, I Safety is a very important thing for us. Safety is a very critical thing. We want everybody to be safe. Um, we'll have first aid kits up there. Vinny is a nurse, so and we've got a couple other people that have a little bit of first aid training as well. So safety is very critical, especially in this time. We will post up basically somewhat of an evacuation plan, up there. So these are just entries. My recommendation is come through here and kind of read up on this whole entire field day packet. Very easy to find. You come down here, rules, entry forms, and information packets. The complete packet is right here. If you just want to just drill down into it, you can. So on and so forth. So, what we're going to talk about next is where to find where we are camping at. All right. So, we've got Facebook page and we've got our website. Those are the two most critical parts right there. We will be up on I think not the Metro link. Well, I think we might be up on Metro link as well as the Rim link. I think we've got enough VHF, UHF radios up there that we'll be able to cover both, as well as our 446.050 simplex frequency. You might want to program that into your radio. We will be listening in and monitoring that frequency as well. So if you call us out, make sure you say, WM7RC, WM7RC, WM7RC Mesa Amateur Radio Club. This is so-and-so. That way, as we're paying attention, we'll hear it and we'll pick up, all right? I'll tell you right now, the Rim Link and the Metro Link repeater system gets really, really crazy. Because there is a ton of people that come up here and talk about where they're at and all this other stuff. So just be prepared to be a little bit patient on the repeater system. If we have cell phone coverage, you can always send us an email, text message, or even try to give us a call. But to find where we're at, all right, this is the critical part right here. On our website, we have the upcoming Mesa ARRL events, all right? If you click on the ARRL Field Day, it is a linkable thing. It's going to take you to the next page right here, all right? And I've already flipped over because I just wanted to stay there, all right? Field Day, Field Day, Field Day, all right? Here is the old info. Notice I put, old info here. Do not click on this link unless we specifically say that we're going to be in the old info area. As a matter of fact, if we change our mind, I will just remove this whole entire comment and section here, and you will only see this. But we will announce it on both our club website here. We will have something over here saying, hey, pay attention to where we're at. We're at, campground, whatever. All right. And I'll show you what I mean here in just a second. So if you scroll through here, notice here I got this in bold. Pay attention to Facebook and our website as to our location. We'll be trying to monitor the Metro link as well as Mount Ord, or the Rim link off of Mount Ord. Notice that this is a dry camp. You must bring in your own water, your own beverages, your own electricity, your own everything. All right, this is not something that we've got huge amount of money and putting tents out and all this other stuff. This is a BYOS. Okay, bring your own stuff. All right. If you do not have a radio, you don't have an antenna, you don't have any of that stuff, don't worry about that. But make sure at least you bring up a tent, your sleeping bag, food, water, drinks, beverages, your own clothes. I'm not going to be sharing my clothes with anybody, so sorry. Not that you're going to be able to fit into them anyways, but this is something that you're going to have to be thinking about. Now, if you want to come up for Saturday only, and you're allowed to do this. If you want to come up on Saturday and visit with us for a couple hours, feel free to. You know, don't hesitate. If you're sitting there going, well, should I, shouldn't I? Do it. All right, just jump in your vehicle, take off, come on up. Make sure you know exactly where we're going to be at. Bring a radio so you can communicate with us, etc., etc., etc. All right. If you want to bring a friend, a relative, you know, kids, aunt, uncle, grandparents, whatever, if you think that they're interested in ham radio, bring them on up. You know, more the merrier. And we'll put a microphone in front of them and have them do 20 QSOs for us. All right. So if you follow this link, this new info link, if you click on it, it's going to take you over to basically this page here. And let me switch over. So notice the orange areas. This is all closed off area. These are all closed off area. Here's Payson down here. Okay, Payson, Star Valley. Come up through here on 260 and you come on all the way up. All right, we got Woods Canyon Lake right over here. Now, if you look and you see all these little, we got Point Alpha, Point Delta, Point Lima, Point Foxtrot, Point Hotel. If you zoom in, these are all the spots that we're going to try to be at. All right, and it's not like we're going to float from Point Alpha to Point Bravo to Point Charlie. And we're not going to be playing those types of games. We're not going to play the shell game. All right. The plan is on Wednesday sometime, Chad is going to drive up. He's going to bring his truck up with his camper and everything, and he's going to try to find one of these spots somewhere back here. We would like to try to set up in like Point Bravo, Point Alpha area, just because it's a short drive down, and now you're at Bear Canyon Lake. You can go fishing, swimming, whatever. All right. You can even probably climb back down this ridge right down here and go down and visit the lake as well. And that's why we would like to try to do Point Alpha, Point Bravo, maybe even Point Charlie. However, due to the fact that these areas are non-reservable, if somebody comes up, say Wednesday at 6 o'clock in the morning and beats Chad up there and claims Point Bravo for themselves, guess what? We can't just walk in there and tell them, hey, you're going to have to leave. We got a group coming in. Too bad, so sad. Pack up and leave. It's too bad, so sad. It's first come, first serve. That's the reason why we have so many different points on here. This area is very popular. It gets very clustered up with a whole bunch of different campers. We're sharing the forest with basically anybody and everybody from the valley, from Payson, from Flagstaff, wherever. All right. So this is the reason why you want to really be paying attention, especially the week of field day, as to where we're going to be located at. All right. I'm going to point out that when we say we're going to be at Point Alpha, I'm going to basically pull down this entire map and I'm just going to leave just Point Alpha up there. And I'm going to basically provide a link on Facebook as well as our website. Our Facebook, I think it's our Facebook or it might be our website, automatically links over to our Twitter page. I don't do too much with Twitter. I'm not a big Twitter person. I'm not the President of the United States of America. My name is not Trump, so I do not tweet. All right. It's an automated thing. So as soon as I put it in, it automatically tweets out for us. All right. That's the way I have it set up. And the reason why I have it set up is just so that if anybody is on Twitter and wants to follow us, you can. We don't do too much with it. So we have quite a few different points in here. I'm going to say, Chad, when you drive up here, try to stick with just these guys right here. Try to see if you can get Point Alpha or Point Bravo or even Point Charlie. I think that'd be fun to do, is be way back here towards the lake. That way you can go fishing. I mean, if I want to go fishing on Friday or something like that. I know that Frank and myself are going to head up on Thursday. I think Vinny might come up on Tuesday or Wednesday, or maybe even Thursday. I think he's got that entire week off. You do not have to show up on any of those days. If you don't want to show up until Saturday morning, don't show up until Saturday morning. If you want to show up Friday night, stay up there with us until Sunday, you're more than welcome to. A couple of us are going to be staying up there at least until Monday. I'll be packing up and coming back down on Monday. I've got other obligations that I need to take care of and make sure. At the same time, what I would like to do is get down here, grab the logs, filter through them, process them, and then maybe even get them up on Logbook of the World, as well as maybe even submit them to the ARRL. So that's what I'll be doing. But notice, we're not just in just this area over here, Bear Canyon Lake area. We do have some that are up over in this area. So it might be that we might have to go to Port Lima or Point Echo or something like that. All right. There are 3 lakes up here that are pretty decent with fishing. Woods Canyon Lake gets overcrowded, I think. I'm not a big fan of Woods Canyon Lake. I've been back to Bear Canyon, and it's a decent lake. There is also Chevelon Canyon Lake, which is all the way up here. It is kind of out of our range, but if you want to go up there, you can. Let me just tell you a little bit about Chevelon Canyon Lake. The walk down to the lake is not so bad. It's the walk back up that's horrible, because it is up a hill and it just wears you out. So couple key items that I want to make sure that everybody does bring is water, all right, and suntan or not suntan lotion, sunblock, all right, because you are going to get toasty up there and you are going to get dehydrated up there. I recommend you guys drink while up there. Anyways, if we cannot get any one of these places, let's say that the forest is just totally jam-packed on Wednesday, we have a secondary option, which is over in this area. I've already talked to the ranger, and he says this area right around here is less populated or less popular, mostly because it's away from all the lakes. So if we need to, we might end up doing this. But here's where Forest Lakes is. You got the Forest Lakes Lodge. You still have the Buggles Bar and Grill, and the Forest Lakes General Store. All right. Woods Canyon Lake also has a little bit of a, I believe that they have a general, yeah, they do, lake store and marina. You can always go over there and get some stuff like ice and stuff. But just be prepared, all right? But this is the map. Now, it looks confusing because there's triangles, dots, all sorts of different things. Just understand that the orange area is closed off area. You are not permitted to enter in there. We don't bail people out. If you enter this forest area and you want to go camping, that's all up on you. The club will not, we're just basically, we're just obeying the rules and the regs that the Forest Service puts in for us. All right, do notice I marked this as Area 51, where we're going to be at. Area 52 is this area over here. So I will say Area 51, Point Alpha or Point Bravo as to where we're going to be located at, and Chad will communicate that with me on Wednesday. He'll figure out a way to get either right over to the edge of the rim and either text me or send me an email or something. All right, so that's where to find it. I will put out on our Facebook page, hey, listen, we're going to be in Area 51, Point Charlie. All right, or I'll post it up on our website. I will take everything else down except for that one specific campground area, and I will repost the map. All right. So it's very critical that you like us on Facebook and monitor our website. If you need to know our website, it's wm7rc.org. So I hope everybody likes that. I hope everybody's okay with that. If you have questions, I will have notes down below with my email. Send me an email. Ask me questions. Don't care what the question is. Ask me. I'll try to answer it. If you haven't already, come in, log in, sign up on our website, sign up on our Facebook page, and I hope to see you guys out there. This is KE7VLC for the Mesa Amateur Radio Club. I'm going to sign out here and let you guys get back to doing what you're doing.